The 2026 Evergreen State kit is here, celebrating soccer throughout Washington State. Featuring a bright green base with dark and light blue accents on the shoulders and sleeve cuffs, the kit will be paired with light blue shorts and socks. Inspired by the club's Forever Green and For Evergreen motto, the Evergreen State kit embodies the spirit, texture, and landscapes of the Pacific Northwest. Continuing the club's long and proud tradition of Northwest inspiration, the Evergreen State kit includes 52 sparks for the 52 mini pitches built in communities across Washington by the Ray Foundation. The lower corner is emblazoned with the Evergreen State in reference to Washington's historical nickname. Order yours today at lobbingscorchers.com/kit. That's lobbingscorchers.com/KIT. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your post-game live for leg one of the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinals. The Seattle Sounders are down 2-0 to Tigres after leg one, and we've got a full panel at the Sounder at Heart studio in the ID. We got Noah and I here. We got Jackson Feltz, 93.3 Sports Radio, KJR, host of Sounders Weekly. And we got Jaya and Tula of the new, are we launching the...
do you want a hard launch?
It's coming soon.
Okay.
Should we?
New podcast friends. Keep your eyes peeled for a new podcast coming soon. But we got a 5-person panel to react to this result tonight. We're going to be giving our thoughts. Maybe doing the presser. I don't know if there's Concacaf issues with that.
I'll try and find it. You guys keep cooking.
Noah is going to try and find the presser, so we'll see if we can make that happen. And we're going to be breaking down this 2-0 deficit that the Seattle Sounders are now looking at after leg one in Monterey. A pretty frustrating night, I think it's fair to say. 2-0 is not insurmountable. The series is definitely not over, and this can still be done, but it's definitely it's dicey now. And Jackson, we'll start with you. 93.3 KJR, Sounders Weekly. How are you feeling, man? 2-0 deficit. The CCC dreams kind of feeling like they're hanging on the ropes right now.
Yeah. But I don't know if I'd say ropes, Ari, but I would say that, you know, it's we're not at the gif of not great Bob, but we're nearing there, you know, because it's one of those things where with 2-0 coming home against a team, you know, for a Sounders team, I should say, that last year, let's remember, defeated the CONCACAF champions 7-0. So they're absolutely in this series. I think losing 3-0, that would have felt insurmountable in a lot of ways, Ari. But I do think that 2-0 is a lead you can absolutely come back from. You can win a game 2-0, 3-0. And I think a lot of this game and a lot of this series comes down to, can the Sounders do two things? Can they take advantage of opportunities? Because clearly we saw Paul Rothrock cross comes into the box. He has a chance to put the ball in the back of the net, and it ends up, you know, not going for the Sounders goal in the second half. So that's the first thing, is scoring your opportunities. But I think secondly, and maybe the most important thing, because this goes across all sorts of the field, is you got to match their physicality. You can't be outworked by him. You can't let them knock you off the ball as easily, because Tigres, in many, many cases, were far more physical than the Sounders tonight. And I think you got to match that physicality coming up in leg two. And if you do both of those things, then yeah, absolutely, this series is still over there for them. It's an uphill battle, but it's nothing that the Seattle Sounders haven't done before.
Yeah, I think the frustrating thing is that there were the chances there in this game. I think there were 3 really big chances that I can think of. The one that Rothrock had that you mentioned. Rothrock had another one that he just skied from inside the box that I thought was a really good look. And then there was, I feel like, a couple others that I'm not even thinking of in the first half. Yeah, Jordan had one. So really, if you could have gotten one road goal, I think we'd all be feeling a lot better about the state of affairs. But that being said, you know, 2-0 when you got the whole second leg at home to go, if you come out and you score one goal, it's absolutely game on again. We talked about this when Seattle was playing the Whitecaps in the last series when they were up 3-0. And the Whitecaps, remember how that felt when the Whitecaps scored that first goal in Spokane, and it was like, okay, this is feeling a little dicey. Now you're one goal closer than that. Really, you just got to come out at home and score one goal, and you are right back in it. I think it just it doesn't feel like that right now, coming off that game where you concede 2 pretty unfortunate goals and you can't quite get the real goal yourself. So I think it feels, the situation feels worse than it actually is right now. Let's get Jaya and Tula in here. How are you feeling about 2-0 coming into this home leg in Seattle? Are you on this feels insurmountable end of the spectrum, or are you feeling confident that the comeback can manifest here?
You want to go first? Current run of form, I can't help but feel hopeful, personally.
I think that one was really difficult to watch, especially at the end. But I do agree with your point, because I think that once we're playing at home, I am very confident that we'll win at home. Knock on wood or whatever. But I think that it was hard to watch, but I believe in us strongly. So
Noah, you got the tech set up? You got the presser pulled up over there. It looks like we are going to be able to watch the presser, so that's good news.
As long as they didn't do it yet.
Okay, yeah. we're staring at an empty podium right now.
We're seeing some Saudi oil ads.
That's always good. That's always good.
Caliente ad, a dying Jackson Phelps over here. You know, kind of like this tech situation. It looked good at times, but maybe behind the scenes, it was a little bit of a shit show. I felt like there were some moments here where...
No, I'm not used to this. Live radio, we're not supposed to swear. I'm not used to this.
I could last on live radio. I've done it before, but maybe that's my new challenge, is not to swear. But, you know, there were times where this could have been a 2-2 game. There were times where this could have been a 4-0 game. There were times when it could have been a 1-0 game. It didn't feel like Tigres took over the game until about 20 minutes like before the end.
We got the Tigres coach at the podium now. Do we need to watch that guy? I don't really need. I don't really want to hear from that guy.
I think normally if visitors go first, so we may have missed it.
Okay.
No, we're not that long from.
We'll see.
We'll find out.
He's gonna yap, but like
we're not gonna play the Tigres coach presser.
Yeah.
I frankly don't want to hear what he has to say
him, though.
right now. Yeah. In fact, get him muted.
Yeah,
I don't even want to hear his voice.
He's not part of this conversation.
He's not part of this conversation.
Not important. Never has been.
Yeah, I think you know what's frustrating about the first half, guys, is like I felt like it was actually going pretty well until the Nouhou penalty. I was like, all right, this is fine. Ugh. They've had a couple of chances, and Steph Fry had to make that one save early, and that was a pretty good chance for them. And they had a couple of other good ones in the first half, but once they got close to first half stoppage time at 0-0, I was like, all right, this is fine. This is fine. The longer it stays 0-0, the more that suits Seattle. And then there's that penalty call on Nouhou, which let's talk about that. What did we think of that call? Let's do the discourse, because that was one of those where when I saw it live, I was like, no way, that's a penalty. And then I saw the replay the first time and I was like, no way they call that incidental contact. Then I saw the replay a third time and I was like, they're gonna call that.
When the guy goes down, lays down, pulls the cover over him, puts his pillow, starts screaming and rolling around like he's having nightmares.
Well, he hopped back onto the field. He went down and he dragged himself back onto the field to play, and that's when you knew this guy is fine and he's milking it.
I
liked his diving because it looked like he was actually crying.
He did he sold it.
Tears.
Yeah.
Honestly,
fair play.
Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, actually, let him have that penalty. If you're gonna commit to the tears,
no, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't allow them to get away with that.
How much do we fault Nouhou? How much do we fault Nouhou?
I mean, he doesn't even look.
He's not looking
a reckless
at him.
challenge.
That's how I feel. But coming from me, no one's gonna listen to that. But I don't really think he could have done that much.
As the Nouhou brigader, like I don't think. Sure, I guess he could have held up his run a little bit. You're defending. That's one of those calls that doesn't get called in a non-VAR era. And I'm sorry, not to bang on the anti-VAR drum, but really, Really? We're going to do 5 extra minutes of stoppage time because a guy's rolling around on the ground and we've got a bunch of losers sitting in a shipping container in the middle of, wherever. And they're like, hold on, let's actually replay that at 0.0008 speed. Yep, slow that down a little bit more. Can we enhance that image where it kind of maybe looks like Nouhou is stepping on someone? Yep, okay, yeah, cool. If it's not called on the field, I'm sorry, what are we doing? What are we doing? It took too long. The call had been made. Ridiculous. Like, sure, it's a penalty. Okay, yes. But if it's not called on the field and it's already a chippy game, are we really gonna change up the momentum that much?
I'll say this: if the roles were reversed and that was a Seattle player getting stepped on, no way that they ever give that penalty.
No.
And
Nor
so
would I be that mad.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not even saying that for sour. I'm saying that a little for sour grapes, but they would never have given that. They would never have given that penalty.
At the end of the day,
never in a million years.
Yeah,
it's fine though. It's
ball
fine.
don't lie. So
Yeah, ball
that's
don't lie.
at the end of the day.
Angel Correa put the penalty into the 27th row, so that was fun. That was probably the highlight of the night from a Seattle perspective when he stepped up to the spot, and I think we were all sure it was going to be 1-0 at that point, and then he blamed it into the next galaxy in the next dimension.
I felt that in my bones. I did stand up and say,
Can I get some credit for the reverse jinx?
We did have Jackson Felt's reverse.
100% said that he was going to hit that, and as usual, it worked.
What was going through y'all's minds in that moment?
Well, that was difficult for me because VAR was maybe 2 pixels, 5 at most.
Yes.
So I couldn't actually tell at all where Nouhou's foot was, even though I kind of maybe his foot was direct on ankle. But hard to tell if it's 5 pixels.
Yeah, I think it was difficult because we were kind of looking at an oil painting. But I think even, I'm more mad at how dramatic the guy was to the point that I'm like, I almost don't even care what actually happened because you need to get up off your butt. Yeah, actually, if you're triple rolling back onto the field, I have a problem with it. And I'm going to say it.
That's like, the game's gone, perhaps. Like when you're doing all of that at home, is this the equivalent of Minnesota United? No, I'm not even going to start that discourse. I'm not going to start that discourse.
It didn't end up mattering because he missed the penalty. And then they ended up scoring pretty much right after the second half started. So I guess let's talk about that. That sequence, I haven't even watched the replay yet, but it looked like Alex might have had the initial giveaway, and then that started the sequence. And then honestly, that guy had a pretty sick back heel. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a good assist.
Yeah, me and Jax were both like,
this is one of those plays where you can't even discredit any play. You just have to chalk it up to that's one of the best. Maybe honestly, at the end of the day, that'll go down as the assist of the year for a Sounders opponent. I mean that
little chop step
that
back
play was spectacular.
Nice.
It's a great finish. Fry has very little, if any, chance to actually get that ball. It's a tremendous goal, and you just have to tip your hat.
Yeah, a goal like that, you can say, the giveaway is what creates the whole situation. So it's an example of even the Nouhou penalty too. It's an example of how in these games in this tournament, you got to be just so locked every single second of every single game. Otherwise, the margin's very thin. That Nouhou penalty, that's a play that's on the margins. That Alex Roldan giveaway, you don't really think that it could lead to something like that in the moment, and then that's how they get their first goal. But even then, it was 1-0. And there was a lot of time left to go in the second half.
I felt good on 1-0.
I felt okay.
I felt okay.
Basically, my whole thing with this game was you can't be FC Cincinnati, all right? And if you're FC Cincinnati, you're in trouble. This series is going to be over before you even have the chance to go back to Seattle. It looks like the tech with the press conference over there is not.
I think they just ended it because I think
they might have just ended it.
Did Brian already speak?
We must have missed the Schmetz presser.
Well, let's see here then.
Whatever. It's fine. He's been over the moon on the pressers.
Sounder Hard on Blue Sky says it was a short presser, not getting any players, but a few highlights. Schmetzer says, quote, "We're down 2-0, so we understand the objective now. The chances we created, we should have scored 1, maybe 2 at the end of the game. They were putting us under a lot of pressure. That's a very good team. But 2-0 is 2-0. It could have been 3. It could have been 4. Schmetzer on the difference between the first and second half. Goal puts us under some pressure, and we lifted them. We were losing possession. We didn't have good a possession as we had in the first half. Yeah, so Schmetzer on the mood. It's good. We're keeping them positive. This is an experienced team. We'll be at home. It's a long trip since Houston.
Wait, where's the pen?
I think that
I was gonna say with
I'm
lots of
mostly
pen
on.
clicking.
Thanks, you,
Schmetzer.
thank you,
Many
Senator
pen
Hart,
clicks.
for
Yeah.
Here's
For
my
sending that.
Brian Schmetzer reaction. Well, Jeremiah, you know,
Yeah, but
Could
no,
be worse.
he clicks his pen when he's mad. I don't think he was overly mad about this one.
I feel like this was at least 5 pen clicks.
5, sure. We're not talking about a 50 pen click.
He's
you're on the
probably-
pace of about 100 pen clicks right now.
I think everyone is going to feel like at least one road goal should have been procured. And if that had happened, I think we would be sitting here feeling great right now. If they had just had, if it was 2-1 and they had a road goal and they were coming back to Seattle only down 1 goal with the road goal in their pocket, I would be not cloud 9, but I'd be pretty happy. Now I'm pretty unhappy. So that's how big of a difference that road goal would have made. But I think once the dust settles, and I wake up tomorrow, I think I'm going to be locked back in and feeling like, all right, this is a winnable series. That what you had to avoid was letting it spiral out of control.
3-0 is over.
Like I said,
It's over for
3-0 is like not over, but it's like pretty much it's getting there.
You just went out in the sun and you got sunburnt and you're peeling and you're like, yeah, let me go on the boat.
It's the not great Bob gif.
Yeah, it's not great. Bob.
It would have been really not great, Bob Giff, if they had gotten 3-0.
It could have been worse.
Getting 2-0, like I said, when you're 2-0 in at halftime essentially of a series, 1 goal is all it takes to change everything. If you score 1 goal,
almost had it. Like you look at that whole game, you look at that game as a whole. The second half, okay, a little bit of a disaster class. You always kind of know that MLS teams open up in the second half. You're in Mexico. You're on short rest. What's going to happen? You hold it to 2 goals. They looked like they could have had 1 or 2 in that first half. So if they can complete those and finish those at home, all right, take it to PK, see what happens.
And keep in mind, guys, we're going to be coming off of no weekend game. This is a Tigres team who is playing on Saturday at home.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to play at home and then travel. Sounders get to come back tonight, and they haven't been home for a long time since traveling to Houston, early last week. So I guess late last week. So this is a Sounder team right now that's going to be healthy, rested, and they're also going to be able to play that kind of lineup that they want to play because you're going to be able to not have to, start a team that's playing off of a Houston game on the weekend before. You get to start Ferreira on the right, and you get to start Albert Rusnak in the middle. And you get to start, exactly the way Brian Schmetzer wants to run this lineup, knowing he needs to score 2 goals. I like how this sets up from just a strategy standpoint going into this game, knowing what you need. But again, you gotta match their physicality. You cannot get out physicaled by this team. And this is a team who's going to be coming to Seattle, who's going to be falling down, who's going to be wasting time from 30 seconds on. They're just going to be wasting.
Yep.
And you got to be physical, but not physical to the extent of letting them just roll around for 30 minutes in this game, which they're going to want to do.
You got to stay up too. You're not going to get your calls. You didn't tonight. I think that's honestly, Christian played that really beautiful through ball that was incredible. And honestly, I think that was one of the best chances of the night.
They had a couple good chances off those through balls.
But any constructive criticism I would have for one of the greatest Sounders of all time is stay on your feet, my friend. Get a little stronger. Get stuck in. Get on your toes. Like low center of gravity. You're gonna get shoved over in the midfield. They're letting 8s play. They don't care. They do not care. I think that was a big problem, was not adjusting to that at halftime and being like, all right, I'm going to stay up. I'm going to keep trying to win that play. When we see the Sounders do that, that's what they did against Miami. Guess what happened? They made them look stupid. Like, play strong, be strong. That's why I like Theo Saze shout at the 9. He's big, tall, strong. But I don't know. It did feel like they were getting pushed around in that center midfield a lot, which led to, some bad moments. And I mean, also the Nouhou turnover that leads to whatever. But yeah, strong boys, be strong.
Let's talk about the lineup for.
Can we talk
this game.
Rusnak? Can we talk Rusnak? Can we do it?
Sure.
Can we do it?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to talk about the lineup in general, but what do you want?
Well, we got to start with
Straight to
Rusnak.
Yeah.
What is it? Are you guys having an issue with
are
this?
people saying that he like?
I don't know. I wanted to hear
horrendous?
I see James in chat.
Well, yeah.
So I just assumed that
Like let's diffuse this very, very quickly.
Yeah,
Jesus Ferreira started in Houston,
correct.
and Albert Rusnak starts on short rest today.
Yeah, no, it's more of a larger conversation, I think, of what were we missing? Were we missing Albert in Houston more than we were missing Jesus in this game? That's my question. And does it even matter? And is this even really a conversation worth having? I think we'll toss it back here first. Yeah.
That's mean. But I mean, I think I'd prefer Jesus starting than Rusnak. But also,
I don't know if Jesus does corner kicks like Rusnak does, but maybe that's a terrible take. I'm not sure.
That would get the brigade riled up, but
Sue me.
I think they're. I mean, I personally think they're pretty.
Well, there's the
comparable
podcast name, right?
on
Sue
set
me.
pieces.
Sue me.
But I don't know. I think I might feel more strongly about this if I felt like chance generation was what did them in this game. I didn't really feel like that. Again, I feel like, if you create 3 or 4 big looks in a game like this on the road, quarterfinals opener at one of the better Liga MX teams, that's like probably what you're looking at, what you're going to have, no matter who's starting where. Okay. So if I felt like there weren't those looks in this game where they could have got the road goal, I might be like, okay, they should have lined it up differently and maybe that would have changed things. But when you look at the looks that they did have, they were pretty good. Like that Rothrock one, that's as good of a look as you could hope to have. Yeah. So for me, it was an issue of just not finishing those looks. And then again, like the reason that they're up against the wall now after this game is because of the goals that they conceded, not like because of like any issues that they had on the other side of the ball.
And the first goal was very much just a brilliant moment of talent and skill and great soccer. Second one, it goes to the point, Noah, you said it, I've said it, it's the physicality. Yeah. You just got beat physically.
Got bullied up a little bit.
It comes on as an own goal, but where you can really chalk that up is they just had a great moment of physicality and they beat you, and you cannot let that happen for a moment next Wednesday.
No, they shouldn't have let it happen after halftime. I would have loved to be.
The end of this game was not fun at all. They were getting Cincy'd a little bit, and that's where there was a couple moments where I was feeling like, man, they got to be careful because this could go off the rails. And to be fair, like they kept it to the 2. So they did give themselves a chance by doing that. So that's the good news. If there is any good news coming off a result like this, it's that you kept it within range where you can still get this done in the home leg. And that's from the sense of like, you really needed to not let this go off the rails. They at least cleared that bar. So
you were wobbling. Your train car was wobbling. I'll tell you that much.
It definitely the last 10 minutes. It was super.
You had
wobbly.
women and children screaming.
It was not good,
bit.
But getting out at 2-0 after how that kind of ended. I feel a lot better about that than they had the a pretty wide open header go off the post that could have made it 3-0. So
I mean, at the penalty, this easily could have been a 4-0, and then it is curtains. It is so there's a lot of reasons where on that long flight back you're going to be able to say to yourselves, this is only 2, and they're not going to. We know back at home. I mean, guys, this is a team who hasn't played at Lumen's Field since the first game of the season. Like, they're going to be wanting to get back 3 blocks from here, and they're going to be wanting to get back and not only play good soccer for their home fans, but also represent themselves better than tonight. We are a physical team. We are a team who can, whoop a top Mexican team like 7-0 like we did last year. So yeah, I'm in full belief that this team is you're going to have heads not dropping on the flight home.
Yeah. Can I say something that might be kind of controversial?
Yeah, that's what this show's for.
This game needed Pedro de la Vega.
Oh,
what's funny is right before
is that supposed to be controversial?
Yeah, like I had the exact same thought of like I feel like some of the discourse with that gets overblown in the sense that it's like to start this season, like obviously you want your DPs healthy, obviously you want Pedro de la Vega on the field. You also have the Pauls literally playing and producing at essentially like a DP level right now. So like when you're talking about the league season and how they've started this season, it hasn't been like deal breaking that they haven't had him. But a game like this, like a road game in CCC where you're playing against Tigres and chances are going to be few and far between, that is where it hurts, man.
Yeah, 100%.
That's where it hurts.
If you had him on the wing instead of Paul Arriola, I like Paul, but
it's just a different.
It's different.
It's different.
Different level.
It's different.
Yeah. What about Georgie? What about Georgie?
What about Georgie?
What about him? Does this game?
What you said. Exactly.
I love Georgie. I wish him all the best. I don't know how much he would have changed this game personally, because I kind of agree that this team is Tigres is really physical, and while Georgie was super quick feet, he was not necessarily a physical player. And I think it's better to have someone like Arriola on the field because he is gonna chirp.
Yeah, he was chirping.
He to me is right for this game over Georgie. Wish you all the best, Georgie. Prove me wrong, please.
I think there's some games where Georgie definitely, like, going on near the end is super useful. I don't think that this would be one of them, personally.
De La Vega's he's the one guy who, when it feels like there's no goal to be found anywhere and you're never going to get one, he can just make it happen. He just make it happen out of nowhere. That is
he's built for tournaments like this too.
Yeah, that's the most difficult thing
as
to
much
find.
As
it's the most difficult thing to replace. And there was a lot of we went back and forth for like 45 minutes on this, but like the reason that I'm much more hesitant to move off of him is because of that exact thing, because he can give you that.
Yeah,
so, I mean, we're agreeing on
we
this.
agree on that, and I think our take was that conversation was more about a roster of you're still missing him. This is a game that needs him. How do you
the fact that they need him and didn't have him in this game is kind of
a problem in itself.
Speaking of players, I think you needed and you didn't have. As much as I love Paul Kingston, I don't know.
Shout out Paul Kingston.
Shout
out Paul Kingston. Shout out Pablo De La Vega.
I think that one of the things is when Brian makes that change for the midfield there, which I think was the right timing of that. I think that Kingston is the guy you have to make. I don't think you can put in Hassani Dotson at that point, more of a defensive player. But that's where Nikola Pekovic could have very much been an impactful substitution. And missing him, I think, in a game like this, where he kind of, obviously we're not talking De La Vega, but a guy who can very much create things. And we've seen such good things before his injury that's a guy that I think you needed in this game that you didn't have. And it sucks that he's out for the year, because I think his creativity is something that a substitution, an attacking midfield substitution, that's a piece that you need now that you don't have.
I liked how Pete played tonight, and I especially liked that
Paul,
I liked how Paul Kingston,
the third Paul.
I liked how Paul Kingston played tonight, and I especially liked how he mugged Gignac and got a yellow for it and got in his head. Gignac crashed out. That's a 42-year-old man coming after Peter Kingston.
Really good.
That dude's on Social Security.
And Pete did not care. He did not care that Gignac was that angry. But like, that's good CONCACAFing. That's what you need. Like, so that was good that he did that. And in general, I felt like Pete actually genuinely he seemed to be helping matters more than he was making anything worse.
Yeah,
so.
you definitely. I think it's one of those things where I think we're tearing every little piece apart, and you wish that the roster was fully healthy. You wish the roster was maybe a little bit bolstered, but at the end of the day, you walk away 2-0 with a game that looked like it was getting ugly. Like, I don't know. I think I peed like 10 times because I was so nervous in this game. So I don't.
These ones are I don't really enjoy watching these ones.
No.
Like,
do we have a Galaxy update? Like, let's see how bad they're getting absolutely smacked on right now.
Maybe they're winning. We don't know.
No, they're losing 2-0.
Okay,
to Toluca in the 43rd minute.
There we go.
Yeah,
so Seattle's probably going to end up doing better than them. Not that that's a very high bar, but what did we think? They should not. Why are they even playing that series? That's just like pointless for everyone involved. That you just put Toluca through at that point. Like, there really was not.
Oh, Nico Moreno. Nico Moreno with the text message. He probably doesn't want me to read it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jackson upset with not having Petkovic, but okay with Brian not starting a 5-assist most influential attacker.
Okay,
Hey,
so
sis,
let's
it's
talk-
absolutely crazy.
Nico. So Nico wasn't on when I said this 20 minutes ago. So I'll repeat this again. Jesus started in Houston. This is called rotation, Nico. I love you, buddy, but it's rotation.
I would have loved for him to start and play 45 or 60.
Was anyone very upset at the Paul Wing duo with not having Ferreira
I was
out
just
there?
shocked that Paul went double 90s.
Yeah. So okay, here's what I was thinking. This has been the
Sorry,
Paul.
Nico. I just
I love you,
leaked
Nico,
I
but
just
come on,
leaked
buddy.
your-
This has been the Paul
Oh, he
Areola.
said, please read it. We're good. Okay. This is Concacaf. It's sacrilegious. That's what he said. He said, play Jesus Ferreira.
This has been the Paul Areola tournament so far, and Paul Rothrock has been in such good form. He's been scoring goals every
he
week.
almost
I-
had one, dude.
That
If
one-
he puts a
He-
little more power on that, that's in the back of the
He
net.
almost had one. So I was thinking before the game, like, what's he going to do? Is he going to start Paul Rothrock or Paul Areola? It turns out that he started them both. But I thought that he was going to go with Paul Areola because Paul Areola has been starting in this tournament. He played great in Vancouver.
Yeah.
He played in Liga MX. So this is honestly one of the big reasons you bring Paul Areola to this team is for a game like this. So I
And
thought,
I thought he stood up fine.
yeah, no, I thought that starting him
I just liked he was
made
talking so
total
much shit.
sense. And I also thought that going off that, like you mentioned, Rothrock has been playing a lot. He played the whole game in Houston. I think it would have made perfect sense to bring Rothrock off the bench and start Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus would have
Yeah.
been playing double 90s as
Yeah.
well. But like
You start
I like that. No. I
You start
disagree. I like
your
that.
team's leading goal scorer, and
No.
you
can bring him off
roll with
night,
your
you
team's
can
leading
take him
goal
off the
scorer.
bench.
Jesus Ferreira is your
Needs a
leading
break.
best playmaker.
Yeah. He is. I'm sorry. I love Paul Rothrock.
Paul Rock, clearly, yeah.
But
Okay.
here's the thing, man.
Also tucking in the jersey.
Yeah, bro, I got style in class. What are we talking about?
Is that a thing?
Javier Arriaga.
It is now.
Javier, he's Ariagging it. That's a
Javier Arriaga.
Now listen, Paul Rothrock, you start him because he leads your team in goals and he
He's a
creates.
dog off the
he-
bench.
he
He's
creates-
not offended he's sitting on the bench.
He's a
He
dog
just
anytime
scored.
you put him on the field.
Okay,
He's
well,
going to
then
create
give me-
things anytime, anywhere.
No, cut it. No, cut it. Cut it. Cook him.
He
Cook him.
didn't score.
Okay, but you look at overall this
I
season,
love him, though.
more often than not, when Paul Rothrock is on the field, he's creating a goal.
And he was so close to a classic.
That's the thing,
He was so
right.
close to a
Exactly.
classic.
Man,
If he
if
scores the
you're
classic, we're talking about how brilliant it was.
Yes.
Listen.
You don't rotate when it comes to Paul Rothrock. You play Paul
You do not
Rothrock
rotate
because
when it
you-
comes to Paul
Are we
Rothrock.
play
taking
him.
crazy pills? It's Jesus Ferreira. He is going to be the DP number 10 on this team next year. He is not on the field. I agree with Nico on this. Like, I love Paul Rothrock. You sub him in the 60th minute.
No,
I
you
thought
don't.
that's what
you
they
don't
were
need to
gonna do.
pander
I
just
think
to
if they
Nico.
did-
I'm not pandering to Nico. I
would've
said
been
this
better.
the whole time. I was like, I want Jesus Ferreira. You take off Rusnak, you push Ferreira to the 10, and you bring on Paul Rothrock. That gives you a completely new look. That's how I would have played it. Brian Schmetzer, give me a call. I am available for assistant coaching
I
gigs.
back Brian. I think he made the right decision, and the lineup. I mean, frankly, it was 0-0 at the half, and I think based on that, and the team also looked good for much of that first half, and looked like they were right in position to get a result at Mexico, and I think that it was there for them. And
It was. You're right.
And what we're looking at simply is two moments where one, you just got to tip the hat at their quality, and two, they out physical you on a corner. And outside of that two moments, then we're looking at a result for the Sounders. And you look at Rothrock had that chance, and more often than not, he's putting that in the
he's
back of
putting
the
that
net.
away.
So I think that
Jesus
Brian
is
made the
probably
right calls on everything.
It's difficult because I really don't think Rusnak is playing that bad right now.
I also don't think he's doing that bad, and I don't know if I'm just missing something. But
It's always
I
hard
don't
to
think
know.
he's doing as
He's
great as
statistically-
he usually.
I feel
He's
gaslit.
played well.
I feel gaslit on this
I
a
feel
lot
going
too
crazy.
because there's like this red hot polarizing discourse, and I'm sitting there like I feel like he played pretty much fine. He had like 16 assists last year, like that. But so I feel like I'm taking crazy pills on it too. But in this situation, I don't know. I mean, are you saying that you're saying you would have gone Jesus?
No, what I would have done is I would have started Jesus on the wing with Albert at the 10. He didn't play in
And
the
bench Ariel.
No, I would bench Paul Rothrock, bring him in the 60th minute, take out Rusnak, and then move Ferreira to the 10. If
you're gonna play Rothrock 90,
if Rusnak's cooking, you keep him on. You can sub out Areola for Rothrock, or if Jesus is playing bad, that's way more versatility than saying Paul, Rusnak.
I disagree.
But I think everyone got so clearly so tired at the end that if you had Paul to throw in, I think
Paul's double 90, and you set him up for a double 90, dude. I know his ass is burning right now. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but you know, Rothrock wouldn't have it any other way.
No, I know he wouldn't. He's gonna hit my number and be like, "Bro, I'm playing. I'm gonna play a game this weekend just because." No, you guys know I love Paul Rothrock.
They have not been running double Pauls much this year. Like they've been playing one Paul or the other Paul. Like it's
worked in Vancouver.
3 Pauls today, as a matter of fact.
There was
the third. There is now a third Paul.
A third Paul
in the
has hit the stadium.
Shout out. we were saying that, like, if you're a commentator and you're saying a guy's name and you realize halfway through you're like, okay, I don't know what this guy's name is. When it comes to the Seattle Sounders, if you just throw Paul out there, you have a better chance at being right than any other name you could say. So he went for it. He said Paul Kingston. It didn't pay off, but like I don't mind I don't mind the dart throw because there's no other direction he could have gone that would have given him a better chance there. So.
Better than Pablo de la Vega.
I want to toss it to you to get us with some more discussion on just vibes generally. What are the vibes right now? Because like I don't feel bad, but I don't feel good.
I feel kind of bad, but not like horrible.
Yeah, I think that's the vibe director in Chiefs.
Also me. Yeah, I think. Well, I'm scared to say my take.
Say it.
You gotta say
it.
For the next one, for when they come here, I think they should play Thomas instead. Is that
potential
now
PK
we're
situation?
Cooking, but so okay, my whole thing is like I'm fine with Fry starting in this tournament as long as if there's a PK situation, you do the swap.
Out
yeah.
Thomas. Yeah.
But
so I'd be fine
also
with that too.
when Nouhou got the penalty tonight, I was like low key. I kind of want, but then he missed the PK, so you know it was fine.
It ended up working out. It was all fine.
Yeah.
I think vibes are still okay, honestly. I don't feel too horrible after this loss because the season has gone so well, and like usually when the Sounders start the season, we aren't good.
No.
We aren't good. And to start this season as well as we are, being in, regular season and a tournament, I'm okay with the 2-0 loss on the road. And especially coming back home, I think there's going to be so much hype behind it. I mean, personally, I've been counting down the days. I'm really excited to get in there and scream so loud and go insane. And I think that'll help. And I'm not too worried. Was
anybody here in Spokane? Wonderful. Then you all can answer this. Start of the game was still the bluest skies you ever seen are in Seattle, and they didn't change it to Spokane.
I don't know.
See,
I don't know.
I was busy eating a sandwich from the VIP section that I wasn't supposed to.
So dedicated. Just love that. Because I think that the hype of being back in Seattle and having the energy of our fans and how hopefully there's a good 30,000 next Wednesday night. I know the game's at 8:30 p.m. My God. But like the energy from our home fans at Lumen Field in our building where we whooped 7-0 Mexican or Concacaf champs last year. I think that the team is going to build off that. So it's sort of like, it's not Spokane. I know that was a home game. It's not a home game. So there's going to be another level to this game next Wednesday.
I just want to say, if you see me at the game next Wednesday, do not spoil Survivor for me, please.
Second that.
Do not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments right now, thank goodness I can't see this because somebody's going to spoil tonight's episode.
Yeah,
and I have to leave here in a few minutes because I can't miss
it. Try your hardest. It's not going to spoil it for me. Anyways, Jaya and I personally got told to sit down at the Spokane game because we were standing up.
What?
So
I'm gonna stand up right now again, just thinking about it. Actually,
oh my God.
You know who you are.
By a Whitecap fan, I imagine.
No. No.
Wow. That's messed up.
Said, can you girls please sit down? And we said, oh, actually, I'm here to watch soccer, and I don't do that sitting down. So thank you.
Yeah, we got asked to please sit down. Spokane was really fun atmosphere besides that, and we got over it.
To stand up anyways. Sorry if we were in your way, but you should have stood up also.
Yeah, it's fun. The vibes are going to be high. It's going to be great to be back in Seattle.
That reminds me of
in Seattle.
So loud.
Because my mom came to a Sounder game a couple of years ago, and I remember she sat in the 100 level, and she said afterwards when we met up, like, I just couldn't see for most of the game, and I'm like,
Jackson put her in ECS.
No, she was. I think she was just up from Gorilla FC, and I realized afterwards, like, I hadn't prefaced her with, people are going to be standing the whole time, and I think that is something like for your casuals, and I mean, there's a lot of casuals who want to go to Sounder games, and it's sort of like, now if you're down in the one, you need to be ready to stand the whole time, and that's kind of a culture thing that I think that the casuals need to understand.
We do bring a lot of people to Sounders games, and we have to preface it with, like, we don't take this lightly. This is very serious to us, because we're going to be standing the entire time. We're going to be screaming so loud.
But that's what makes it fun, right?
Us afterwards, but it's the time of our lives.
Yeah,
exactly.
And nobody around us has moved their season tickets.
Yeah,
so
if you have season tickets around us, bless your heart for dealing with our screaming.
Yeah, and you know what? That just shows their passion as well. So
yeah, they get it.
Thank you.
Do we have other storylines that you need to hit on? Because I feel like you've had some stuff saved up, and I think as we're coming down on this game, I need to get out of this funk. Like, I think
that Snyder Brunel is about to be incredible. I think he's doing very good right now, but my prediction is that he's about to pull moves you've never even seen before. Okay?
Inventing.
He's gonna be backflipping on the field or something, and it's gonna work.
I was, there was question as to if it was going to be Hassani or Snyder starting. And I was thinking about that before this game. And I was like, I think I'm actively Snyder on this, which is not like but there is something to, I think, the veteran presence and the experience in a game like this that a guy like Hassani would bring. And Snyder, as much as we like what we've seen from him, he is 18 years old. He's never really been in a situation like this. So that can give you some hesitancy no matter how good a young player looks. Though. But I thought he was great. Yeah, no, he continues to do nothing to make me think that he can't be deployed in any game, any situation, and they can trust him to hold it down and excel. So
this game did miss Obed, though.
Oh,
I mean, may God rest his soul. But
I miss him every day.
Like, come on.
Let's give a quick mention to he started against Barcelona in the league, right, in La Liga, and played 90. And I didn't even see what happened. I still haven't seen the highlights or anything, but I saw a bunch of discourse among the Atletico fan base in the comments on their videos and stuff, and it was a lot of, wow, Vargas is actually good. So I was like, he must have done something.
He played well. They lost. They won today, though, guys. My bet that Atletico is going to win Champions League is hopefully going to pay off here. But I mean, he didn't play in the game, but it would be really funny if someone gets injured in the Champions League final and Atletico, and then
he does it again.
He comes back on and does it again. I mean.
Let's clarify. The injury wouldn't be funny.
No,
the storyline.
It was Gianni Cardoso.
Okay, all right. We don't need to go after Gianni here. All right, Johnny's just he's just trying to make it out there in La Liga.
But think about it. That's a twofer, because then Christian Roldan will start in the World Cup, and Obed Vargas would play. So I don't want Gianni to get hurt. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if it were to happen,
is he not already
the storyline of? Oh wait, he might. Yeah,
he was feeling fatigued, is why he left camp. Yeah, he was actually
tired. Okay. He had his nap.
Oh, so he pulled the hummus.
James didn't drink enough water.
He's really dehydrated.
Which will cause you to be tired.
Yeah. But that's an aside.
Anyway, got sidetracked there. Obed's doing great.
Obed, we love you and we miss you every day.
But I feel like Snyder, he's not as good as Obed yet, but he does offer
very good potential.
Yes, yeah, exactly. He's got the potential.
No one could ever be Obed, but I think that he is.
he has his skill set's a lot of similar attributes too. So
all right, we got to hit this super chat here.
All right.
I literally said that I didn't want to have this discourse, and I said this was gonna happen.
Noah says the Sounders need Peppo.
Okay, well that's true. I did say that.
I think that is a fair takeaway. Like,
while
from
also
this
being
game.
like, oh, we should sell. It's a Peppo as a
yeah.
as an amorphous
As an
being.
idea.
Yeah.
Concept.
It's actually a situation where you can do your anti-Peppo take and a pro-Peppo take at the same time.
I'm not anti
because you can be the fact that he isn't playing. and
Ari
he's this
ghostwrites all of
good.
my takes.
Yeah.
I hope you guys know
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
I actually
I'm
don't
setting you up for
make
this
any
one.
Of,
And we got
this is the one I did want to talk
I
about.
actually have to dip out.
go watch your
So-
Survivor.
Go watch your Survivor.
It's actually not even about that. It's some other things that I have to take a call right now. So
You have to take a call at 9 p.m.
we're handling
Iowa.
things on the fly, and I thank you for the opportunity. Nice to meet
Lovely
you
to meet
Jackson,
both.
where can people find you quickly?
Jackson on radio on all my socials.
What's going on at KJR? What you guys?
Well, you're going to be on Sounders. You know what? Both of you.
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
call you in.
Do
Both
it.
you guys are going to be on Sounders.
Can we just do it in
I'm
the
on it
stew?
every week.
You
Can we do
are,
it in the
but
stew?
I'm going to bring you in, Noah, next
Sounds
week.
good.
You don't have a
Done.
choice on this.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday, 8 p.m.
I'll be there.
Sounders Weekly, 93.3 FM, and then no radio broadcast for Concacaf, but we'll all be in the stadium at Lumen next Wednesday night. So
And maybe we'll get him for another post game. Probably not.
you
He
know
doesn't-
what? Why not?
Or we can come on your post game.
I will stay late next Wednesday and join you both.
Let's go.
There
There
we
we
go.
go.
Thank you.
Jackson on
Thank
the
you
radio,
all.
everyone.
Jackson Phelps.
My friend.
Thank you, man.
You didn't introduce Ari as champion of fantasy today, though.
This is, once again, MLSsoccer.com writer and editor, the host of Lobbing Scorchers, and the fantasy football champion, Ari Lillianwell.
That's
And
right. That's right.
I did
We
help
love
him
that
draft his
intro.
team. so
Never
I
gets
take
old.
partial-
Never gets old.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit this. Let's hit this super chat. Jay Score says, "I'm increasingly concerned with our lack of any offensive firepower. We cannot depend on just the Pauls. The lack of a legitimate star DP shows." So yeah, I mean, similar to what we were just talking about, it was kind of hard to come out of this game and not feel like, man, maybe a De La Vega would have helped there. Anytime there's the chance generation is pretty good, but you just can't finish. Like, and you have a star DP that's hurt as often as he's been hurt. It's hard for your mind not to go there. Were you feeling that with the absence? You got his jersey on.
I
so
always
you're-
miss
you're-
him. Yeah. No, I think like you guys were saying earlier, if there's ever a moment where you're like, there's no way we can possibly score, this is all going terribly.
Yeah.
He will pull it off somehow from like somewhere you would never expect, I feel like. And I just
You know what he does that this team doesn't have enough of right now is, you know how he does that thing where when there's a shot to be taken, he just runs onto the ball and just kicks the
Yes.
shit out of it just so hard.
Like I have
Absolutely.
like never seen someone
Yeah.
tackle a ball while running with it like that.
He kicks it so hard
Yeah.
at the goal, and it oftentimes goes in, and it's just like there was times tonight where I was like, man, someone just needs to kick the shit out of the ball as hard as Pedro always does, and maybe it'll go in.
He's
you
always
know?
mad at that ball.
Yeah.
He is. It's
I would
something
hate to be a soccer ball around that guy. That would be horrible.
Some days
but-
I fear that like he's gonna hear one of my TikToks and it's gonna be my head as the soccer ball, and like I would deserve
Yeah,
that.
you're not at
Like,
that
he
point.
I would
can,
deserve that.
Look out.
for a player that's kind of known as more like a finesse, technical kind of guy, the power that he gets on his shots is unique, and this team could have used that.
Man, I
tonight.
just like
He's gonna
didn't
use
want to
that.
have this discourse. Like I knew this is exactly. I said this to you as we were wrapping up. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have the number 9 discourse again. We're gonna have the we need attacking firepower discourse. Like I'm tired of it, guys.
What discourse do you want to have?
I want to have discourse about Nouhou.
I love you.
I I think he's been playing lights out all season. Honestly,
I think this was his worst
This is his
game,
worst
and it
by
wasn't
far.
even like his
For
worst of his ever.
he was
For
he was
sure.
sliding around.
It was like a
did-
median game from last season for him.
Maybe people will say
I
this is
wouldn't
cope,
say
but I don't really know how much I blame him on that penalty. Like
I don't.
really, when I look at that, I try and think of it of a like, what could he have done
Thank you for the super
differently
chat.
perspective, and I don't know there's all that much he could have done there. Like
Exactly. I think that if that was intentional, then it would have been a red, because if
got more, it definitely was.
Since we couldn't really see what was going on at all, but if it was cleats to ankle like that, intentional,
Which I don't know why he would have.
it would have been red.
Yeah.
But I do think he had his roughest game yet, but he has been having his best season.
he had another kind of goal line type clearance.
Yes,
so.
he did have an incredible clearance. And yeah, I just think Nouhou has stepped up. Something about being captain. Really just
Copy.
it, like something switched.
It's a whole new,
Something switched in his brain. Something new that I saw this season was Nouhou had some sort of like disappointed dad look on his face.
Yeah, Captain
He didn't.
Nouhou.
Okay,
Captain
well,
Nouhou.
And that was
I'll give him this.
incredible, because before we used to see Reed Baker Whiting trying to tell him to calm down.
Calma.
So
Or tell him to use his head.
No, it was the
that
head. It
our
was this
favorite.
one.
That
Yeah.
was our favorite. So
that was my cover
In the
photo on. It might
absence
still
of-
be my cover photo on Twitter.
It is. Yeah.
yeah,
In the
we
absence
talk
of
about that
Reed,
all the
he's
time.
finding self-discipline.
The
It is true.
17-year-old
True.
RBW telling Nouhou to use his head was the funniest.
We talked about
Yeah.
that for so long. I was
We
like,
talk
if
about
I-
it all the time.
Oh, if a 17-year-old came up to me,
Told me to use my head, I would be really
Pissed.
thinking about things, and maybe that's what
That was the
done it.
moment.
That
That was
changed
his
everything.
moment.
Maybe
That was-
that's
yeah.
why Nouhou is captain of Cameroon now.
I think
It's
we
all
can-
Baker
Thank
Whiting.
thank you, Reed.
Thank you,
I'm
Reed.
down to perpetuate that narrative.
Reed, we know you watch.
Yeah.
We love you.
Kenny's pointing out 42 opponent touches in our box, not ideal. That's usual total from 3+ games. Yeah, it was not good how much they were in the
Yeah, they
box
were
there.
in our box a lot.
Especially at the end there.
All up in the box. It was not good.
Kenny also says
What are you guys laughing about back there?
Nothing.
Kenny
What are you
says
laughing about?
Cardoso called Roldan his idol ball knower.
No,
Oh,
it actually.
well, now he's on the good-
Cardoso asked for a translator as well during one of the pressers, U.S. men's national team pressers, and Roldan was like, "Nah, I got you, bro.
Oh, are they like boys?
They're boys."
okay.
Everyone
good.
loves Christian Roldan.
We don't
How
have
can
to
you
hate on
not?
Cardoso now though, because he's okay. You can.
It's
That's
just
fine.
been my agenda for a while, and
It's kind of your bit.
Yeah.
Like you have to stick to it. Ghost Trick says, "Thanks for being great, guys." Thank you for the super chat.
no,
I
thank
guess.
you
I
for
don't
giving us
think-
money. What the
I
heck?
don't think we're that
Shout
great,
out
but we
Jay's
appreciate
whole
that.
family for
My
watching
family
at
group
home.
chat is blowing up right now. They're saying Jay is on Lobbing Scorchers.
Shout out to her
Shout out,
family.
Mom.
Shout
Thanks
out
for
to the
letting me
moms.
sleep
Shout
on
out
your
to the
couch so
families.
much.
Shout out to my dad for letting me stream from his house last week.
Yes.
What else do we got? Should we take calls?
Yeah, let's go.
Drop the link.
We're gonna
Let's
drop the
just
call
fucking
link. You
do
guys
it.
can
Just do it.
call
Just
in,
do it.
I guess.
We'll do this.
I don't know how we're gonna hear it, but
Just.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No, it was my bad. You're good. You're good. You're good.
all right, I'm dropping the call link in chat. If you guys want to tap in, lay down your takes. 2-0 deficit for the Seattle Sounders following leg 1 of the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinals. Everyone go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars. Also, subscribe to QED Coffee, new Lobbing Scorchers kickoff title sponsor. Great way to support the show. Toss them a sub. What's going on with that again? There's like a giveaway or something. Okay, I'm not gonna plug that. I can't remember what to plug.
You can
Lobbingscorchers.com/USA. You can get USA gear and 10% off your entire order with code Scorchers.
Ari, I
So-
feel like I could have told you that.
That I mean, I probably should have known
I
that.
have the link memorized. Okay, no one even asked me.
All right, we got Tribe and we got James in the queue. All right, guys, in the queue, we need to set up the tech here, so that's going to take a minute or two. Tribe, I know you're devastated. You're itching for the discourse, so we'll get you in here as soon as we can. And then we got Gianni. All right, we got a this is a murderer's row right here. This is a strong lineup.
Oh no!
So we're about ready. We got the cable that we need, and we got people in the queue. What should we discourse on until then? What have we not talked about yet?
Did we talk about Morris at all?
Oh, let's talk about that.
True.
Jordan Morris gets the start. What did you think of how he looked, how he played?
I think it makes sense that he gets the start. I just find myself wishing that he, I guess has had more time with this team, because I think it's just unfortunate that he hasn't been able to stay healthy, because I do think Morris, once he gets on a tear, could do great things with the current form.
I
of
was
this
a little
team.
nervous just because it seems like every time he comes back from an injury right now, he's immediately sent off for another 6 months, and I was worried for him, but it didn't happen.
He looked, since he's gotten back, he has not gotten re-injured, so that's good. And it is funny, like, for all the time we spent talking about Osaze versus Moose, he's just very clearly the starter and the best option at that position. So at least we don't kind of really have to talk about it from that perspective anymore. And hopefully they can just get him going and get him producing like the Jordan Morris of old, because that, I know there is a lot of discourse going on right now about how the attack is weak. The offense hasn't been performing lately. They haven't been scoring enough goals. They got shut out tonight. All that, which is all it is. It's true. They haven't been scoring enough lately, and they didn't score tonight. But if you get Jordan Morris rolling, that's going to help a lot with that, to state the obvious. Looks like we got the speaker set up over there. So can we bring? All right, I'm going to try and bring in Tribe. Is that?
Yep.
All right, Tribe. I'm going to bring you to the stage right now. The tech is untested here, so we're going to see if this works. But you are on the stage right now. Tribe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, nice. We got you through the speaker. Let's go. All right. Wait, I'm going to make this. Okay, we're not going to do that because that takes me out of the screen. Oh, we're not going to. Oh, boy, this is a disaster. There we go. Tribe, talk to me. 2-0 deficit after leg one. Are you crashing out? You think the series is over, or are you feeling like back is still possible here?
Yeah, it's absolutely over if we can't fucking score a tap in or build up from the back with more than 3 touches. It's absolutely pathetic. Albert Rusnock played like shit. Jordan Morris couldn't do anything on the wings. He couldn't take anyone on 1v1, which is why I think we should have had Manungu still, because that had Manungu written all over it in the second half. The defense was absolutely bend but not break in the second half, but just these little errors that happen. I don't blame the defense as much. We've had incredible opportunities that we should have capitalized on. We should have had probably 2 goals. De La Vega would have scored the goal that Rothrock missed when it was a dummy from what's his name, Reagan.
See, I hadn't even thought about that chance from that perspective. That's good discourse in Tribe. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
That has De La Vega written all over it. He did it against the LA. No, he did against Cruz Azul.
Yeah, he hits those.
Yeah.
Famously.
So we are also being robbed of designated player money by Jordan Morris, who is absolutely nowhere near a designated player quality in the past 2 years. He's a great striker, not as a designated player. We don't have any designated players who are actually playing like designated players, and the rest of the squad is just suffering from it, and you can see it away in Mexico now.
All right, so Tribe is crash out. Or wait, so were you saying that you think the series is over, or
yeah, if we play like that again, absolutely, it's over.
But do you think they are going to play like that at home? You got the trip home. You don't have a game on the weekend. Maybe some time to recharge. You score one goal, you could get back in it.
We're gonna do like what we did in the Leagues Cup when we played Monterrey at home. We're gonna score 2. We're gonna look like we're gonna win it, and then all of a sudden something stupid's gonna happen, and then we're gonna crash out and just die. That's what's gonna happen.
All right. Well, Tribe's not feeling very good. Tribe, do you have anything else you wanted to riff on? I'm glad you got the Georgie take in. I knew someone was going to have to say it, so I'm glad you said it. But anything else you wanted to cook on this game, or leg 2 coming up here?
No, I just had to get that out.
You're feeling fried. You feel like we're cooked.
Yeah,
all right. We'll keep running tally on what you all think. Fried, or what's the good way to put this? Fried or
perfectly cooked? No.
I don't know. We'll
Help.
Golden.
Fried or golden?
Fried or golden.
All right, we're gonna do some fried or
like
golden. Tribe,
Toasty brown.
thank you for calling in. Great stuff as always, man. We'll catch you on. We'll
Bye,
catch you
Tribe.
after like 2.
Take care of yourself. Bye.
Yeah. All right, we got.
I always feel scared when Tribe calls in and it's a bad loss. I'm like,
yeah.
That was a little scary.
I hope he's okay.
It was a little.
You know?
Like I was on
we
Instagram.
got James, we got
IG
Gianni,
Live.
and then we got Timbo. Let's get him in here. Let's get this Roo Snack discourse going. James, you're on stage right now. What's up, man? 2-0 deficit after leg 1. Do you think that this is over? Is it chalked? Is it fried? Or are they golden? Is the comeback on?
I don't think it's cooked. Anything can happen. I thought in 2022, we probably all thought we were cooked against Pumas when we went down 2-0, and then they gave up 2 very stupid penalties. So anything can happen.
Great point.
But and I didn't think the first half was that bad. It was boring, but it wasn't horrendous or anything like that.
Boring is good in a game like this for the road team.
Yeah. But then in the second half, I think we were just outclassed. Physically, like Jackson said, there were a couple. There was one where their blonde head striker was pushing Alex back, and it looked like me going against my 10-year-old niece or something. I would never do that to her. Sorry, Mia. But I, with there's just a structural imbalance between Liga MX and MLS. Liga MX can spend more money on salaries. They don't have the cap, and they could spend more money on transfers. And MLS has a few mechanisms that you can use to try to equalize that. It's the DP and it's the U22s. And so when LAFC has their game in Champions League, they get a goal from Son and they get a couple goals from Martinez, their U22. And we just don't have those mechanisms in place. I'm getting a little frustrated with Schmetzer. I love Brian. I don't think we can do any better. So I'm certainly not Schmetzer out. But I think that Jesus should have started that at the 10. I don't think that Morris should have started. I think, at least for the time being, Morris should be used as an impact sub where he can use his pace a little bit more against tired legs. And I'm sort of frustrated that those guys are still starting because I thought Raul was putting up more, certainly, than Rusnak when Raul got benched. And we've got a good option in Jesus Ferreira. So I don't know why Schmetzer's continuing with that. And I thought he was late with the subs. By the end of the second half, we just looked absolutely exhausted.
So what did you think of the double Paul situation? Would you have gone Jesus at the 10 with the double Pauls, or how would you, and then who would you have lined up top?
Yeah, I would have gone with Paul's on the wings, Jesus at the number 10, and probably Musovski as the number 9.
Really?
I think
because he didn't play at all, and Schmetz brought Osaze on, and I was thinking about like why he went that way with it, and I think Osaze's profile of like the more like physical hold up play oriented striker would seem to lend itself to a CONCACAF road match more than a striker of Moose's skill set. But Moose also does put the goddamn ball in the goal a lot.
Sometimes.
More than any
and
other
when he
striker
misses, Paulie's there to clean it up. So
we were talking about
I can't
this
remember
a
the 2
bit,
games.
Though, because
there were 2 games in a row where Musovski missed, and you could see him just go, "Oh man!" And then Paulie was there to tap it in. So that's a play that's been working for us.
I mean,
And
Paul almost had that anyway.
It almost worked again.
But also you
worked.
have Morris getting Paul an assist on the Houston goal, and that's basically him just not connecting on a header, but like sending it to the back post. So
I think
Paul is just cleanup patrol. I think he's the trash man.
I think Jordan should get a little more credit.
It's a talent. Being able to ghost in there is a talent.
Yeah.
And he almost, man, like that's the thing. If he gets one off that tonight, we're feeling so much better. We're feeling so much better
100%.
if we get the Roth.
That game might have ended 1-1. if he gets that, dude. I don't know.
That's what's
It might have
frustrating.
ended 1-1, but it could have ended at 4 or 5-0. I mean, apart from just the penalty, if Tigres dial in their crosses, we're in trouble because they had a number of good crossing opportunities that they just launched
Or
a
if he
ball
just
that
shoots the
probably
penalty
landed.
on frame, that's 3-0.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, their crossing was, some of their corners probably ended up in Seattle. So if they get that dialed in, that could be a problem. It's going to be a lot of Concacaf shithousery in the return leg.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you start D-Row in that one just because you need the physicality, and you bring in Morris late. And I think you have to start Jesus in that. I mean, he's going to work harder, he's going to run more, and he's put up more assists this year. So I mean, the bottom line, whatever you think of Rusnak, he has not been good this season. I think he turns 32 this year. His contract is up. He's not the future. You've got Jesus, who you've got under contract for 3 more years after this. That's the guy you got to start building around, and there's no time like the present.
I mean, I do agree with that. Like, I'm not, my opinion. The cops are coming to get you because you just made a fire point. I'm not anti-Rusnak, obviously. You know my takes on it, but I agree with you that Jesus is the future after Rusnak, and it does make sense to start that transition. But you also still do have Rusnak, who has, in my opinion, been producing. This maybe hasn't been. It's not even a maybe. This hasn't been the best start to the season for him. I think we've all noticed that, but I still don't think he's not serviceable. I think you're right that. I mean, I start Jesus in this game. I start him on the wing with Rusnak, though. So I think there's a little different take there, but I don't know. I think I'm more just shocked, aside from the Rusnak piece, that Jesus was not featured in this game more.
Nico is clearly very upset about that.
Nico, you know what? You want to hear? Nico followed up the text messages.
Let's go.
He sent
Let's go.
5 more, and I think you'll appreciate this, James. He said, this is Concacaf. Are you kidding me? Brian has been selling us on a double 10s for how long? To pull the plug on it now? What player has been bigger in any of these games? Jesus has played in a goddamn World Cup. All right, I'm done. I appreciate you for reading them.
Thoughts?
Hi, Nico.
Hi, Nico.
I mean, it's true. The double 10s thing is the whole bit of like, and Paul Arriola's not playing at the 10. He's not tucking in and playing at the 10. He's playing more like a winger. Paul Rothrock's playing more like a winger. Paul Rothrock isn't that 10. So you know who was playing that position?
The double 10.
Kalani Kosarienzi. Kalani Kosarienzi was playing the second 10.
The best double 10 last year was the 3-0 over Nashville when it was Jesus Ferreira and Pedro de la Vega, and obviously that's not an option right now.
Nice.
That was sick.
But we tried it we tried the double 10 a few times with Rusnak and Ferreira, and it wasn't that good.
It's true, but I think he means, so Brian insists that the right side winger is essentially a secondary 10. So
It's a pocket player more than a pure winger.
Yeah. So I think that's mainly what Nico is referencing. But yeah, any final thoughts? We've got some other callers.
I would like us to have a backup left back. Kingston got bodied a little bit out there. But I mean, it's not his position. That's nothing against him. I don't know that selling your only backup left back for $800K was a particularly wise choice. So hopefully that will be.
My feelings on this, James.
I was thinking that like when there was a period of time where it's like, oh, Nouhou might get sent off here. Okay, what are they gonna do?
And legitimately, did you watch that Nashville Club America game?
No.
Okay. Well, I would say like Reed looked good. So
he has been playing.
He's kept
well.
a few clean sheets with them this year.
Yeah. No. The RBW stocks go.
I mean, the move made sense for him because their left back is like 35, so there's a much clearer path for him to get a first team space than there was here with Nouhou, who's not even 30. So it was a smart move for him, but we got to get something there. So, but thank you very much for having me. Hello to your guests, and I hope you all have a great evening.
Thanks, James.
Bye, James.
Take care.
Okay, before we jump in,
Yeah.
Nouhou defense. We have 2 Nouhou defenders here, so
Nouhou.
go on the Nouhou defense.
Yeah, do the
before we continue.
I've been known as a defender too, I guess.
Yeah.
So
No, I feel like I've already been on the Nouhou defense tonight, but I do think that we need a backup because it's not realistic for him to play every single game, and that's what he has been doing.
Yeah. No, it is true. There is
And-
kind of no back. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
Pete. I guess
We
Pete.
love
Cody Baker?
Cody Baker.
Oh, yeah.
We love Cody Baker.
But he also realistically has not gotten many first team minutes. And so to just rely on Cody Baker to be our backup when,
I think, yeah.
we're playing this many games is
I think he needs a
That's kind of
backup,
a
but there's
lot.
also never been a backup for him that I've really wanted in a game more than him. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's ever like, but they do need to have someone because
I don't mind the Cody Baker idea.
yeah,
But they had been kind of, it felt like playing him
You have
centrally
Cody
more.
Phoenix in MLS Next Pro. That's I'm looking at the.
They have a guy named Cody Phoenix.
Yeah,
That's
he's in MLS Next
awesome.
Pro. But I'm looking at the Sounder. Great place to subscribe to. The depth chart on Sounder at Heart lists at number 6 for left back, wing back. Cody Phoenix. CODEY.
I'm down to call.
Phoenix.
I'm down to call
But
Cody
that's our-
Phoenix up for the name.
that's
Come on.
our
Yeah.
option is the 6th.
Well, yeah, you have Paul Arriola,
Backup.
who they probably should be playing back there.
I
Oh,
ta-
that's a good
I
idea.
had that agenda. I had that agenda
So-
in the preseason.
Yeah.
That's my take. I think.
we
I
just
think.
solved it.
Yeah.
I know. We've
Yeah.
been,
I
think
we've
we
been
figured it
talking for this
out.
long and we just now solved it.
All right.
This is a short. We've only got an hour. This is a short post game for us.
we got Gianni, then we got Timbo, then we got Alejandro. Let's get Gianni in here. Gianni, you are on the stage right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we got you as well. Okay, 2-0 deficit after leg 1 of the CCC quarters. How are you feeling? You think this is chalked? Is it over? Is it cooked? Or is the comeback on when this thing gets back to Seattle?
It's not fully cooked, but it's damn near close. Yeah, I mean, you guys have already kind of harped on it a bit, but our offense has just not been really there. We've scored 6 league goals this year.
Yeah.
6. I swear to God, I will come through this computer. But so you're asking us to score a third of our league goals in this next leg against a team where, I mean, yes, we did have a couple of good opportunities, but you're not going to put them all away. We had the very clear-cut chance with Paul from the Jordan pass. It was a fine pass, but just putting that directly at the keeper is not what you got to do there. And then you've got the other Paul on the back post run. Those are our 2 best chances of the night, and both of those didn't go in. So it's like, you've heard Albert say this before, you have to take your chances when they come, and this team just didn't do that. So yeah, I am not feeling.
It does feel like with the offense right now, it's a little like, all right, you're going to have Paul Rothrock crash in the back post. If that doesn't work, what do we got?
Flips through
pretty
notebook.
much.
It's the same thing.
It's the same. It's been working. That's kind of the same thing every time. But like, if that doesn't work, what do you go to? But I will say, so like 6 league goals. Yeah, that hasn't been very good. But the way I've been coping and rationalizing with that is, it's like
they
you
put
know,
5 on.
it has been
on
the Seattle
Whitecaps.
Sounders roadshow, and I think you can rationalize the 1-0s that they've been grinding when you're playing on the road this much. But then also, yeah, like they do have 5 goals.
I'm sorry, this
CCC.
Whitecaps. I'm gonna be honest. That team is much better than this Tigres team. The difference is
I got fried in the comments.
fuck 'em, man. The difference is that we were playing in Mexico on short rest in a very hot and humid climate, and the game got away from us in the second half. I think that's the difference, because if you look at the first half of this game, it didn't feel like we
felt
were
pretty even.
It felt
I thought it felt
felt
pretty even.
fine.
It felt fine.
So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not ready to completely like cross out the that we have some like attacking woes just yet. We made a Whitecaps team that, by all accounts, is one of the best in MLS look like nobody.
You got 5 goals on them.
Yeah.
I mean, you
And
got
they're a
5
better
goals,
defense.
but you have to remember, we were already up on aggregate in that second game. They had to come out and play. These guys are not going to have to come out.
No,
and play.
they're not. And they're gonna
going
try
to be
and get a
doing the
goal.
Exact opposite.
Yeah, and you know what? They can catch us on a counter, and they almost got us a couple of times tonight. So they
have to
put
be
one.
perfect
They
on
put
defense.
one of those away, and we are fucked.
Yeah.
They have to be perfect on defense. That's why getting that road goal is so important. And, like,
Yeah.
you're
The margin for error in this.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's kind of where I'm coming from this at. Is like, yeah, sure, we can score 2 goals. But what are we going to have to do to get those 2 goals? And those things are going to open us up defensively. And that makes it more likely than not that they're going to get some good opportunities. And if one of those sneaks in, that's it. Yeah. And then if we're going to go with that, we cannot have Fry start the next game. Ooh, I am
cook here.
Fucking over it. Okay. I like that. I didn't think I was going to get as heated about this as I am, but
was it the one where he stood like this
and didn't do anything?
And it hit the post? Was that the one?
That was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was actually on the first goal. So yes, it was a well taken shot. The problem is if you go back and watch the replay, Fry drops to his knee to cover the near post and reaches one hand up before the shot is taken.
Yeah.
He's doing that because he doesn't have the reaction time to do it if that ball goes near post. Andrew Thomas has that reaction time.
He's also bum rushing the player as well, and probably just going to take it to the face. I said that. I was like, he's just going to take it.
Too immobile and too weak on too many of these balls. That there was one that he actually did get his hand to that he pushed away. The problem is he pushed it right back to the fucking middle of the goal. And then what did he do? He sprawled down to the ground and would have been taken out of every single play that would have happened on a shot. And there were Tigres players there. Like that is, you can't be doing this against top level opponents. You just can't.
I agree. I thought it was a bad performance by him. I don't think it was a devastating performance, but I don't think that it inspired any kind of confidence. I think you have Andrew Thomas in there. You can, it's we can look back and say, well, if you put Andrew Thomas in that position, but I really do think on that first goal, Andrew Thomas has a 10 times better chance of saving that than Stefan Fry does. That said, Fry did make a couple of nice saves where he was just in the right position. And that is one of those things where he is a veteran. And I think the secondary thing to that, when I came into this game, I was like, man, I really wish Andrew Thomas was playing, but I do like the idea of having Stefan Fry on the back line to be able to calm down the defense. That's the only thing that I think he has over Andrew Thomas right now. Andrew Thomas is amazing at his job, but I just don't think he has that same presence that Stefan Fry does when a game gets a little hectic to kind of settle his defensive unit. But that said, how are you going to get that without playing him?
Kind of, but also we were put under it in that San Jose game. He kept it to zeros. We were put under it in Vancouver. Again, in Vancouver in leg 2. We got through that. Like, yes, Andrew Thomas is a less experienced goalkeeper, but I don't think that makes him any less able to control his defensive line. If anything, like he is a monster. Like you see him screaming. You see the veins bulging on his neck. Yeah. He is bossing around that back line. Like I still think of, I forget what game it was, but he's screaming and like there was the picture taken of him, his mouth just wide open. He's looking like the fucking predator. I was like, yeah, that is going to be a pro.
Nobody puts his life on the line like Thomas. And I think that might be the difference.
Yeah. And for as much as we talk about the distribution out of the back by Fry, and yes, he was doing well with some of the short passing, those long balls went to fucking no one. We were able to collect some of the second balls, but those long balls that he was launching from the goal kicks, they were just getting bounced right back into the midfield by the Tigres defenders. I thought they're fucking useless.
Schmetz did say that this is Steph Fry's tournament, so I don't think there's any like.
Okay, so why are we giving Steph Fry CCC when if we're doing if we're trying to reverse the roles of Thomas and Fry from last year? If you want to do that, go kick Fry down to Open Cup. He can go play with Defiance. He can take Leagues Cup. But why are you giving him the most important tournament?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's a good take.
Last year,
he's kind of cooking.
Last year, they had Andrew Thomas do Leagues Cup, and that was the whole Steph Fry.
He was like, he's going to prove himself. He's going to prove himself, and then they did it.
Oh, we got 2-1s, but I don't trust our starting goalkeeper to take CCC.
Yeah, well, last year Steph was the number 1, so he took the league games and he took CCC, and Andrew Thomas was the number 2, so he took Leagues Cup.
And Open
this
Cup,
year,
and
Andrew
Open Cup.
Thomas is the
And Open Cup.
and Open Cup.
They kicked his ass down to
this
the
year,
Defiance,
Andrew
dude.
Thomas is the number one. He's starting the league games, but he's not starting CCC.
Yeah,
think that's
so that's
what
what I'm saying.
you're
Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is
There's not like a system to that.
I think they're
No.
two very separate players, and I think that you have to remember all Fry has done for us. And if you just shove him down to Defiance,
no. I'm saying
And
Defiance
he's
just for
40?
Leagues Cup, like not like actual Defiance level. But he
I-
is our second goalkeeper.
he is our second goalkeeper. But I also think that
I
there's
do
gotta
think
be
Fry is being a
some
little too
respect put
sentimental
on
about
his
this.
name a little bit.
I know, but you can't we're playing for pros here. We can't be sentimental about this.
No, there's an argument to what you're saying. I think Schmetz is trying with his I have 2-1 thing. He's trying to like
Schmetz agrees.
he's holding
He's
on,
trying to be
to be
able.
fair.
He's trying to be able
Yeah.
to like have the sentimentality and the respect thing while also being like Andrew Thomas is my starter.
Yeah, it's a cake
And
you
you
need it
can't
too.
really,
But
like-
also, he's not saying Andrew Thomas is his starter because he refuses to do that. He's like, I have 2 starters, by the way. I have
Yeah.
two, no, I don't have a
It
starter. I
bothers me.
just fucking say Andrew Thomas is your starter. Have some goddamn respect for the future U.S. men's national team goalkeeper.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Get him on that USMNT.
It bothers me how much Schmetz enjoys saying that he has 2 number ones. Like, if you're gonna give that quote, but you don't need to be all.
He's just getting
gleeful
way too
about
cute with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of what happened with Nico. He played him until he absolutely couldn't. He did it with
Right.
Raul. He played it until he absolutely couldn't. Like, I get that these are players that have been with us. There is history there, but after a certain point, you just have to rip that fucking Band-Aid off, and it is time.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do, but I definitely see what you're saying. But at the also there's another part of me that's like, feel like Fry's been actually playing pretty well this year. I didn't think he was so bad tonight that it was like his fault that they got 2-0'd. But I know he made that. I know that Correa missed the penalty, so it didn't matter. But it's like, man, who do you want in there for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And if this thing does end up, if we take this 2-0 at CenturyLink, we're going to go to PKs. What are we going to do then?
well, you
bring
still Andrew Thomas in it.
Yeah, I know, but you're going to bring him in cold? Okay,
Yeah.
so what's the point of not even playing him then?
Yeah, I mean,
What are we doing?
Yeah.
There's definitely a point there. for
There's
sure.
a point. There's a point being made. That's good there. Gianni, I got Timbo in the queue after you, but you got anything, any last thoughts on either this game or leg 2 coming up, the vibes, how you're feeling about a potential comeback?
I mean, Rusnak needs to figure this shit out. Like, this is just, I know that this has been harped on, and I know that he has done well in the past, but this was rough. He killed our transitions. He actually was the turnover that led to the throw-in that led to the first goal. And that was fucking insane. Like, I was losing it. In the first half, Rusnak was in the middle of the field, walking towards Nouhou while Nouhou had the ball, waiting for someone to come and give him an option, which ended with the ball recycling backwards. It's just like, he has like, and I know like people hate on him, and I'm not a Rusnak hater.
No, you're not. You're not a hater.
I try and be like objective on it, but it's getting to a point where it's like, he needs to either start putting up, or we need to start figuring out a way to play without him.
Wow, the LA Galaxy have scored a goal to make it 3-2. So they have. Wait, is that game in at Toluca? Wow,
It has to be.
So yeah,
Are we getting outshone by the fucking LA Galaxy?
They have 2 road goals. They have 2 road goals at Toluca. That's tough. That's tough to
Yeah.
take.
Wait, who scored them? Is it?
Marco Royce just scored 1, and Gabriel Peck scored another. They were
Oh,
down.
so they're DPs.
They were literally down. Oh, they were down.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
What minute is it?
It is the 80th minute.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Well,
I know people were saying Toluca's low-key not good, but
Isn't Toluca leading Liga MX right now?
yeah,
Yes.
but people have said they're a little fraudulent.
they are.
All right.
I don't know. Let's
Sure.
listen, we got a bunch more callers, and we
Yeah,
do wanna go
absolutely.
at some point. So we're gonna. But thank you for the for the you know what I know. We love you. Thank you, Gianni.
I'll catch you guys later. Have a good time.
All right, we got Timbo, we got Alejandro, and then we got Hunch. Let's get Timbo in here.
We'll get him going quicker.
We'll get him going quicker. Timbo, what's up? 2-0.
How you guys doing
deficit.
tonight?
Oh, not
Been
all
better.
that. Yeah,
I've been better.
I'm not. I wouldn't say.
I've actually
great.
I've degraded as we've taken more calls.
You're
I was feeling
degrading?
fine,
kinda on
and
the
I'm
upswing.
coming
I'm doing the
down.
opposite.
I'm kind of on the
feeling much better
upswing. How are
now.
you? How are you, Tim? What do you think?
I think this was one of the rougher losses this year. I mean, I would argue probably the roughest of them, right?
There's only
I
been
think
2, so
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, we've had pretty good run on the away, and now we're kind of coming to the end of an away trip that is not turning out our way. We're really lucky to not come back with, a 3-0 or a 4-0 aggregate, kind of based on the fact that we almost got Concacaf at the end of that first half. I definitely felt like we were, this is Concacaf. Like, you cry enough to get a penalty.
that was annoying. That was annoying. He's going
Do you
down
think
and
that
making a
penalty
big show
was
of it to try
legitimate?
and get the penalty, and of course they give it to him.
I mean, but like, I think we saw a bit of that out of Roldan, and I think I saw Paul Arriola get knocked over and try to kind of like, hey, that was really
True.
hard-worthy foul. I definitely think this game was one of the most aggressive games for a team that we played against. The Sounders got played off the field for the most part. I think we got worked. I would have loved to see Peter Kingston stand up to who was it? Was it Gignac?
It was Gignac, yeah.
But like, just to like, you get a bigger guy come out after you, dude. You got a contract now. You're a pro. Go after it, dude. Like, let him throw a punch. Let's see how
So
that goes.
you're saying that after they got into it, he should have gone after Gignac more.
Oh, I think. Well, I was just gonna say it looked like it looked like Gignac was coming over about to slug him, and he was like, "Oh, okay," like.
Imagine you're Pete Kingston. This is your
No, it's like your
third
first
game with the first team
international
ever.
debut.
You just signed your first team contract. You're feeling pretty good. You get out there in a CONCACAF Champions Cup game, and you have 46-year-old Andre Pierre Gignac just
Running at
charging
you.
at you,
That's
snarling.
not rated.
That must have been the experience of a lifetime for Pete.
I mean, the good news is we get another leg with them at home, and I really hope Pete
He's going to be going
thinks
to
about
the
it,
boxing
stews on it
match.
for the next week, and
Practicing.
comes back out.
Pete's now he has to watch his back in leg 2.
Pete Kingston versus Gignac celebrity boxing match,
Yep.
Lumen Field next Wednesday.
Yeah.
I mean, I know who's
Wednesday.
winning.
I also know who's winning.
Late night in
No.
Seattle. Hey, a couple
No.
things. First, like I got 2 redactions. We talked last time about Morris and was not clear about him having the assist. Clearly got it. Clearly adds to the team in that regard. I didn't see that so much tonight. I think he had some good looks, but we're still kind of waiting for that production from our DP, from the leading scorer of the team, right?
Yeah.
If we're going to win this series, it's going to come from Morris and some. I don't think Brian's going to not start Morris next week. That just doesn't make sense.
No chance. 0.
Without an injury, right? Which could happen, but I don't see it. So Morris at this point, it's his to go score. I mean, we're going to get some help from Paul. We're going to get some help from Jesus. Like, there's going to be other opportunities, but I really think a brace from Morris will carry the Sounders through this round. If
Yeah,
it
give me
doesn't
a
happen-
brace from Morris.
One of the
Please.
strikers needs to start scoring goals.
I think you're right
We
though.
need one. I don't care who it is. There's 3 of them that
Guys,
play.
hot take. Our
So
number
what's your
9
take on
needs to
Moose
put a
not getting
goal
the
in
start
ball
tonight?
in the net.
Like,
So my take on Moose not getting the start tonight is that Jordan was always going to get the start if he was healthy enough. And in these circumstances, CONCACAF game on the road at Tigres, crazy environment, crazy travel. It's a lot more important to have a forward who is good in possession, good at hold up play, has good work rate, pressing, all that stuff that Jordan and Osaze do that Moose doesn't bring as much. Like, I think that's why they were the ones who were playing in a game like this. Whereas Moose is like, if you need someone to run around in the box and get in the perfect spot and score a goal, like, yeah, he'll be great for that, but like not bring as much of the well-rounded skill set that you get from a Jordan or an Osaze, which is why I wasn't surprised to see Osaze sub in. But, I think there's another side of that too, where it's like, yeah, but Moose scores. He scores goals. And the other two guys, haven't done that.
I'll put this out there too. We definitely were not on that side of the field to score goals. It was definitely, I think Tigres had our number in possession, and I know there's. I totally agree with Gianni on almost all of his takes, but not having Fry in goal doesn't make sense. Like it's already been called that way. I think we could change it right now and put Thomas in at the home game, but you might as well get ready for Fry to retire. And for a guy who's, I'll argue Thomas won that Leagues Cup last year, but every trophy in the last, 10 years prior to that is on Fry's back for the most part. Both MLS Cups in the last Concacaf.
Thank
he was
you.
in goal.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
It's really strange. So soon after Easter to have, folks blaspheming Fry saves.
Fry saves. So true.
So I would at least if this is his last, if this is the swan song for Fry, then let him have it win or lose. 23 shots tonight, 4 shots on goal, 3 saves. Like they were peppering, and granted, it wasn't all on goal. It sounds like
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot.
23 shots.
Man, they
versus
really
the
did.
Sounders
They
had
were not
4.
good at finishing. Huh? They need to do some finishing training.
They only went 2 for 23. What a terrible average.
Terrible ratio.
Yeah.
So and some of that, I think it clearly.
Oh, they didn't have it was an own goal. So they had
Really, they had
one for 4.
It's technically an own goal. Timbo, how are you feeling about leg 2? Like, do you think that the comeback?
Yeah.
Is
And last thing,
on?
because we want to keep pushing.
Last thing. Are you feeling
I'll
like
remind folks that we've beaten Tigres on our own field before. 2012, I think 2012, 2013, right?
Traore.
Right, Jimmy Traore, right? It was we were down a goal, and then or maybe it was 1-1, but we scored 2.
Yeah, DeAndre conceded a really bad. He got his ass beat, and then it was 2-2. It was 2-0, and then
I think this is a
came
real
back.
big test for the Sounders, and one that we don't want to concede a goal to them in Lumen. It just once that happens, we can call it a day.
Yeah.
But I think moreover, you can do all that, but if we don't do anything, if it's a 0-0, they still win. So like your DPs, your 9s are going to have to come out and score some fucking goals.
Yeah.
What better place to do it than Lumen on a Wednesday night?
Amen to
That's
that.
what I've been saying.
Amen to that.
That's what I've been saying.
I am so excited to actually go to a game at Lumen Field. I feel like it's been like
years.
2 months,
Literally.
you know.
Get me that
Beautiful new
free
sod.
copy.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
be
like,
shaking in the press box.
The road show was fun, but I'm done with this. Like,
done with
I'm
it.
ready to
these
be
are
back
home
home.
games. I'm ready to be back home.
Get us back to the clown show that is
Yeah.
Lumen Field. And guys, let me tell you, I pissed off a lot of Seahawks fans about talking about Lumen Field, but that'll be for the podcast.
That's 2 million views on their head. So
Yeah.
good job.
I was going to
all right.
ask real quick on the Seahawks
Yeah.
front, how do you feel about the crow's nest being no longer?
That's what he's
we
talking
can't
about.
get
We
into
can't-
this right now. We can't get into this right now. I got canceled on Twitter for this.
You
We
got
gotta-
canceled.
yeah.
But,
All right. Well,
Timbo,
we'll leave for
great
next
stuff
time.
as always, man. Appreciate you, and we'll
Good to see you,
catch you on
boys.
the next one.
Bye.
All right, we got Alejandro, we got Hunch, and then we got Jesus, and then kind of low key, no one else to tap in after that because we'll probably go around 2
It's
hours.
bedtime.
We're at an hour and a half, but let's get Alejandro on the stage. There he is right now. Alejandro, can you hear us?
Hey, good evening, guys. I can hear you.
Okay, we got you as well.
Is that a rain jacket? That looks sick.
Yeah, what are we wearing here?
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it is a rain jacket.
Nice.
We're like all squinting at Ari's laptop screen that's like this big.
2-0 deficit in the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinals. Leg 2 at Lumen Field coming up. How are you feeling? Are you crashing out? Is the series over, or do you think the comeback is still on in the home leg?
I'm going to do a couple of contra takes here. And I'm going to say I'm feeling more golden than many of our previous viewers. And I'm just going to say, like, they have the Sounders have been on the road for how many games now?
A lot.
They have just gone to Houston in a humid, like pouring rain game, and then they have to travel all the way to Mexico. And I feel like a lot of the narrative I've been hearing all week is this celebration of this stadium and this home crowd at this opposing stadium. And like, all things considered, I think they played pretty well, right? Like they didn't they gave up a pretty soft penalty. They gave up a pretty soft squeaker, and then they gave up a goal on a set piece. That's not terrible.
Definitely wasn't.
They
like
didn't get FC Cincinnati.
Exactly. They didn't get Cincinnati. It wasn't like disgraceful or embarrassing. Which
And that crowd was silent for like 30 minutes in the first half.
As you said that, Alejandro, I was thinking of it like it was not nearly as lit in there tonight as it was for the Cincy game. Like, so I think there is something to that. Like, they managed to weather that better than most teams probably would have.
Yeah, and I'll add too, like, it's not like the Sounders didn't have their own good chances either, right? There's the giveaway that Rusnak and Morris almost turned into a goal, which should have been. There was the almost
with the heavy
Rothrock goal.
touch.
Yeah, there's the almost Rothrock goal.
The
And,
Rothrock
you
one
know,
hurts. That was such a good chance.
And I'm not saying like the Sounders should have won, and I think you could definitely say maybe that Tigres should have like a 4 or a 5 goal performance. But I also think you could have had a 1 or a 2 rolled goal performance from the Sounders too. And
yeah, that's why I don't see much value in doing the whole like, well, you know, if you think about it, Tigres could have or should have had 4 or 5 because they had this chance, and this chance that could have gone in. But it's like, all right, well, you know, Rothrock had the one that could have gone in. There was another one. Rothrock had another that was pretty close to going in, and then there was at least 1 or 2. So you could be like, all right, well, then if you just guaranteed give Tigres all of their 5, then you would have to. But don't you also have to guarantee give Seattle their like 2 or 3 in that?
I feel like if you start down that road, you can also just say anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Really
that's what,
guys. You know what's crazy? Soccer, it's a game of chances.
Yeah,
and you never know what's going to happen.
And I just feel like the fact that the Sounders didn't put away their chances in this game, like I don't know. I just feel like the length of the road trip for how long it's been, like maybe I'm just providing excuses, but if you are away from home,
we cope and we
for that-
rationalize. So this is good. This is good. Yeah.
When you've been away from home for that long, like your sharpness is going to suffer. And then the other contra take that I will give here is a defense of our DP Albert Rusnak.
Let's go.
And
let's go.
Let me just say, I'm not going to come in here and say that he had a great game. I don't think that's true. But I feel like the thing that people find frustrating about his game, and I think the thing that, and the frustration that I feel with him sometimes too, is his style of play. And especially when the fans are so used to seeing Ladero out there doing his game, where he is dropping back further than the center backs to get the ball, and he's popping up in the weirdest parts of the field
and literally sprint running the entire game, all 90 minutes.
Right.
I try to explain that to people sometimes because I think something that does happen with Rusnak is he's getting compared to Ladero, and it's like, yeah, but most humans can't run like that for that period of time at that speed.
I don't even like you're right. That's a very important skill that Ladero had, but I also just feel like the thing that Rusnak does is he is so like psychotically disciplined about his position on the field. He's like always close to the center of the pitch. And when he gets the ball like on a break, and we've seen this so many times, especially with Morris, who he had that awesome chemistry with, when he gets the ball in that center of the pitch and it's like a half transition moment, he's so good at throwing those balls in behind to Morris or to the outside on the wings, and those chances are always so dangerous. And to me, like, he hasn't been playing as well this season, but I think a big part of the reason why he's also felt so absent is because the pivot has also not played great. Like, Roldan has not been a best 11 player. He's been good, but he hasn't been what he was last season. And I think as exciting and as good as Brunel has been, he also has not replaced the ball winning and the possessional creativity that Vargas had before he was starting against Barcelona.
That's fair. And yeah, Hassani also, was just getting worked in, and then he went to concussion protocol. So maybe with some of what you were supposed to be getting there, you haven't really been getting because of that. That probably has knock-on effects. So no, I think there's something to what you're saying there.
Yeah, and I think just, if there was a more dominant pivot that we had last time, which was the team's superpower last year, I thought, if we had that more dominant pivot, I think Rusnak would be getting the ball in better places in the center of the pitch, and he'd be able to spray those balls out to the wingers, and if Morris was healthy, to a streaking Morris. And we've seen the way that Rusnak is goal dangerous is on those cutbacks, and if there's not that chain sequence where those passes are going to those locations and he can then receive the cutback, then he's probably not going to be scoring as much. And so I think it's a larger problem with the spine. But I also feel like, again, how much of the sharpness is just this insane road trip that's been happening. And I feel good that they're going to look much better in Lumen on grass. If that's going to be enough, I don't know. But I'm cautiously optimistic that they can make it into the next round.
All right. Well, at least, I feel like there's been a lot of doom and gloom tonight. So at least we got someone who's feeling the comeback. But all right, Alejandro, we got a few more people in the queue here, so we're going to keep working through it. But great stuff, man. Thanks for calling in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Yeah. Good night from sunny Vancouver.
Take care. All right. We have got Hunch. We got Jesus, and then we got Caleb at the drum set. And then I'm probably
making these quick, though,
we're
folks.
making these quick. Hunch.
We're making these quick.
Hunch, talk to us. 2-0 deficit. Are you crashing out? Is the series over? Do you think the comeback could still be on when this gets back to Seattle?
Before I say anything, can we get a re-intro to our guests here tonight?
Yeah, we have Jaya and Tula of the new Eternal Blue Forever Girl podcast.
Yeah.
One girl.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Is it
girls? I think. I don't know. You guys.
Names are work in progress, and I don't think there's an episode out yet, but there will be.
There will be soon.
Okay. Yeah. New podcast friends.
Before I start, I'd like to ask, and either of you choose whatever order you'd like. Could you guys give us the best and worst of this game from your perspective?
That's a good question.
This is why we pay Hunch.
Okay. Like purely players?
Anything. It could be
anything?
staff.
Okay.
It could be the approach. It could be a player. It could be
Best and worst general things about the game.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be honest. It's kind of hard. I'm a very hopeful fan. I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt always, and it's very hard for me to pick out a lot wrong with the team currently. Like, I do think it was not a good night, obviously, but I think, I don't know, we're doing so well, especially like I said before, like historically this team does not start off seasons well at all, and we've been doing really great, and it's all been on the road. I think especially with all the injuries too, like it's been super tough, but somehow they've managed and they've made it work. But the worst part of the team, I don't know. Do you want to take part of it while I think about the worst part?
I would say the best part, I don't remember exactly when this was. There was one point where I got up out of my chair and started screaming about Snyder because he had this, I think he had like 3 guys on him, and he was like turning and doing all these crazy moves.
I love it when he does that.
Yeah, it was
the spinning and then he gets fouled.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was one of my top highlights of the game. Worst, I think, might have been I was gonna say the Nouhou penalty, but I don't think that was even, like, I've seen way
that's not necessarily
worse,
his
but
fault.
Yeah, maybe honestly, when they almost scored at the beginning, that was the most devastating one for me, because I feel like that would have changed everything. But
yeah, and I think about maybe our team in general right now, we do need to find a way to finish the ball, put it in the back of the net. I mean,
Newest.
yeah. Best take of all time.
Newest Sounders take. What about striker?
Yeah.
Noah and Ari, if you have a best and worst, feel free.
I mean, we've talked a lot. I don't know.
Best, Paul Arriola talking so much shit to every single player. Oh my god, I just love that. It's like
and clinically, he knows. Yeah, he can dish the barbs. He's been there long enough. He knows what's up.
He's a former Liga MX player. Like he knows what to say. Like
you could see him in the background, like screaming.
Yeah, he
It
just
was
kept
so
talking,
good.
and it's like I love that. Worst thing was probably Paul not finishing that, because now we're sitting here talking about this like the game was just like fucking objectively a nightmare. And I mean, if he puts that in the back of the net and we have a road goal, we're sitting here like
we're on cloud
nine. Dude. Like,
yeah,
that would make all the difference. It really would.
It would have.
It's literally inches. It's literally inches.
It
hit his knee.
I think it was so devastating.
Yeah, that's the most devastating thing, is that the vibes of the post-game show are not nearly what they could be if they had a road goal. But my best thing from this game, Hunch, was Pete Kingston getting a yellow card for going after Andre Pierre Gignac. That man is in his late 40s, and he's crashed out on Peter Kingston, who, do you think Gignac has any idea who Pete Kingston is? No.
No,
dude, he watches the vlogs.
He said,
he watches the
who is
vlogs.
45? I'm going to look up the vlogs, and maybe this will be the start of a friendship between Gignac and Pete Kingston.
He just tried to intimidate who he saw as a kid on the field.
Yeah,
and if Kingston had any Concacaf chops, would have taken a dive as soon as the fingertip grazed him coming back at him.
True.
Yeah.
Pete,
double yellows.
Think about it.
It's a learning moment for Pete. It's his third game.
Concacaf, absolutely.
Brand new.
He's brand new. He'll get there.
He's played more CONCACAF matches than anything.
Yeah. He's 2 CONCACAF matches and 1 MLS match. So
crazy.
maybe he's just a CONCACAF merchant. But Hunch, how are you feeling? Do you think that? How are you feeling about the series?
Series is a different story. I've been around long enough to know that, and I was telling a friend of mine, going back over a decade, I went from so infuriating to want to like rip the seat out of the stand and throw it at getting CONCACAF at times, to where now I just like laugh maniacally at stuff that just goes sideways now. Like it's just like, okay,
you're a better man than me.
Like I'm so over it.
Joker.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Want to know how I got these scars?
But the odd thing is,
O'Shea Nation. You heard of him?
Yeah. No, O'Shea does a decent job, and he will put people in this place.
All right, it's just the first name I could think of, Hunch. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, I was watching the Nashville game, and that dude was not putting up with that, and I was like, all right, let's go.
Give us Mr. Nish.
But at the same time, like I've turned the corner, and it wasn't after 2022, and it wasn't necessarily after Leagues Cup last year, but it's just kind of like we don't feel like the welterweight going against the heavyweight champ anymore. I feel like we're in a position where we can make a move and make it hit and make it count. And so I'm kind of sadly now invested. I kind of dismissed CCL for a while, just like it was whatever. You get lucky, you get, puncher's chance, sure. Now it's like, okay, our guys, our org, our league now has the chops and the experience to like deal with this. And I'm, dare I say, on the verge of invested in this tournament. And that could turn me from maniacal back to throwing chairs. So I don't know how that's going to go. What I'll say, though, in summation for how I'm feeling about this game, thoroughly disappointed, because the number one goal, in my opinion, should have been at whatever cost, no greater than 3, score a goal. Score 1. You could give up 3, score 1. That makes a huge, huge difference. And the worst outcome would have been 0-0. The amount of time our guys were wasting, like we were trying to kill the game off on free kicks, on throw-ins, on just overall effort. And I get like, hey, stamina's down, effort's down, put on some fresh legs. But the fact that we were kind of killing off the game, which is exactly what Tigres wanted, Makes no sense to me. In addition to the turtling, 11 guys behind the ball, like their 3 center backs or whoever were across the circle in midfield for like the entire second half. We were never going to break out. It was just clearance right back to them. What do you think was going to happen? Like, it's just disappointed. I am disappointed. And I'm not hopeful about Wednesday because we give up 1. I'm not sure we're getting 4. I really am not.
You don't need, they said that on the broadcast too. If they get 1, then you would need, 4. You would need 4.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I think.
Math, foiled by math again.
That's why scoring, even giving up multiple, scoring just 1.
A road goal was pretty crucial.
And you could be like the Galaxy. They just conceded one of the dumbest goals I've ever seen in my entire life.
What did that end at?
4-2.
4-2.
But
so
still,
like
2 away goals is they're basically down 2 goals.
They're in better.
And they've got 2 aways.
They're in better shape because they got the away goals, but they are still down 2 goals. We are about to watch this own goal. That is a really
terrible own goal.
Bad own goal, not good. All right.
Yep.
Well, at least the LA Galaxy remembered that they were the LA Galaxy. They got within 3-2 and were like, wait a minute, we're not supposed to be doing this.
Wait, we're LA Galaxy 2026 edition.
We're supposed to choke.
26, I had the wrong year.
I'll to go back to that maniacal side. I'll say the other side of the coin is we're just setting up Tigres to get Cincinnati. Is what I'm going to go with. That's
what I'm hoping for. Like, okay, if there is a scenario where you can come out and get the game state, you don't have to be going full Cincinnati, but like if you can get on top of them and put them under a bunch of pressure,
you got to score at least 1 in the first half.
Make them feel like the road team that's flying by the seat of their pants a little bit. If you get that first goal, then you're in it, man. I'm telling you, you're in it. It's not over.
Before I forget, I want to do something else that I meant to do at the start here. I want to shout out Kenny from Tacoma.
We got to close it after this one.
I got 2 points. Two final points. Shout out Kenny from Tacoma, who's always on here supporting his boy Nouhou, which I think Nouhou had a great game in Houston, did decent tonight. Unfortunate with the calls, but just dude is rock solid with the stats and calling in and just being positive overall. Really enjoy having him on. The other thing I'll say is we're looking at 50s and raining next week on a new grass field. How is that going to go for both teams?
Ooh. Do you think they're used to playing in that? I would know.
It could be a wet carpet situation. Like, what the hell is going to happen?
God damn it! I missed the turf. Bring it back. Pull the grass out.
I've had enough. I'm
not
done.
this natural grass nonsense.
Pedro Turf 2026.
Well, thank you, Hunch. We appreciate you calling. Sorry, we're going to keep her moving.
Unfortunately, I think I also have to call it.
Yeah, that's valid.
Well,
that's
I guess
valid.
I'm going to then.
Thanks for having us on.
Guys. Fake grinders.
It's okay. I don't blame you. We really threw you into the gauntlet.
I don't want to take the light rail by myself too late at night.
Well, I'm also taking the light rail home.
Oh.
Are you taking the bus or the light rail?
I mean, I could take either.
Okay. Well, we'll all go together then, and we'll go to Dick's.
Okay.
There you go. Company card Dick's. That's how you make
There you go. That's how you make those post-game plans, folks.
Okay, I'm sold.
Real grinder. Real
grinders. Let's get Jesus and then Caleb on here, and then we're gonna call it a night.
10 minutes. 5 minutes each.
All right.
Jesus,
sorry.
Jesus, we hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, we could. I could hear you guys.
What's up, man? 2-0 deficit after leg 1 in the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinals. Are you crashing out? Is the series over? Are you feeling the comeback when this gets back to Seattle?
I'm feeling really confident. This Tigres team isn't that good.
I agree.
I watch Liga MX. Like, I'm a Chivas fan. Sorry, by the way, but like,
okay. I'm a Necaxa fan and a Cruz Azul fan, so you
know. They're really inconsistent. Like, they win one game and then they lose another game and then they win one other game. So
they have 6 L's in the league this year. 6.
Yeah, and then I don't like them for a passion because of what happened 2 years ago in that final. Chivas up 2-0 and then they beat us. It was one of the most heartbreaking games I ever experienced.
We're gonna get it back for Chivas. We're gonna get them back for Chivas.
Yes, I'm gonna for sure gonna go. I'm gonna be at the game next week and just to watch them and then just to support the boys, man. We need to
We need to get Lumen back. Lumen, I miss it, and it felt like almost a year since we've been there. Like horrible, man.
Yeah, it really, no matter what happens in this series, I'm just glad to have a game back at the crib. Like this is the road show is ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah, that was almost like horrible thing, and then especially like how did Toronto do that with all those horrible seats that they have at that end? Reminds me of Russia, 2018.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. In Toronto, they built the stand, and it was super sketchy. It's a whole thing. You guys look it up. But any final thoughts? We are gonna power through here. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I understand, but my final thoughts is press the absolute crap out of them, and then like just do the Cincinnati show, but Seattle Sounders style.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. Hey, Zeus, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. We'll catch you next time.
Appreciate it. We'll catch you next time. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Have a good night, man.
All right, Caleb, you're gonna bring us home.
Caleb,
any last
type 5, Caleb. How we
Caleb's
doing?
at his drum set. It looks like he's got his De La Vega kit out.
Two
is that
De La Vegas?
Is that Ladero or De La Vega? I can't tell. We're squinting at my laptop. Caleb, can you hear us, or are you just showing your kid at the drum set right now?
I can hear you.
Okay. What's up,
I can
man?
hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. 2-0 in
hey.
the CCC quarters. How you feeling?
Well, all I got to say to the so-called people that believe in Megamind 11 that thinks that he's getting paid $3.2 million, I believe, that is supposedly a game changer. Okay, that's all. I got to get that. First, I got that out of my system. Now, I mean, as I said it before in the Houston episode, I'm not stuck on this Concacaf because it is not what the Emerald City needs. I've already continually said it from the post game. Yes. And if I may ask, ladies, what do you feel is better, like, for the city? Philip or a Concacaf?
Philip is MLS Cup.
Oh,
the Philip Anschutz trophies.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like an MLS Cup because it's been a while, but if we're talking about like being best in North America, that's also
I would say
perfectly
MLS
fine with
Cup,
me.
but I will take any trophy.
Yeah, I mean, with the run we're on now, could it be a multi-trophy year? Why aren't we talking about that?
All of them. Yeah.
No, I am sorry to say that. Like, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news as Wade Barrett from WWE. I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Okay, what's your bad news?
Because apparently now, you know what? I wouldn't even be the bearer of bad news. I would say I'm the Paul Heyman, and I am the advocate of the most non-PG ass-kicking club of the PG era, which is Seattle Sounders. And all I have to say is that Philip is what this city needs to crave, because again, we tried to pull out the chest that Garth, I'm again, like, count me on my good behavior because I haven't said the bad words.
We know,
Ari.
You know.
And it is now that, it is because of Craig that somehow that came from the same place as, a former Garth, and has tried to follow in the initiative and the footsteps. And since we've so-called also sacrificed a game of rescheduling to September, because this weekend technically was supposed to be the opening of the grand establishment of Lumen with grass for the Grand Emerald faithful, the Broem faithful, and the Hawk's Nest faithful, the Emerald City faithful, to be joyous and rejuvenation of coming back to the city. But what did we get? No, we get another little dunce because of that. And we tried to keep facing it, but we will never step into the truth of admitting that we are not it. I end my statement on that, and you have the floor. I retract the floor back statement to Lobbing Scorchers.
Fire as always, Caleb. I mean, I think
that's a perfect place to end it. Honestly, I think you've killed it.
We were
Is it
we were
a
wrapping
De La
it up
Vega
anyway.
jersey?
So I think Wait, Caleb, is that a De La Vega jersey that you're holding, or is that Ladero?
Well, Ladero, because technically, he is the one, not no mega mind Slovakian guy, like that, some other people like to, think that that's like, a grand number 10 when, like literally they haven't scored 5 goals in a Champions League, and absolutely scored in a final too. So, but it is what it is. I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. And let's just say, like I keep saying it, enough with the Concacaf. We've used all these other tournaments. Let's get back, as our beloved owner Adrian says, that the values and the continuity of this community and this club is very crucial, and we want to emerge the values that our fans, our egregious, enormous, like psychotic, immersed fans that are just crazy about the rave, that again, that continually, relentlessly come in the drones and in thousands. And we thank you for that support. And we need that support, especially if we want to get Philip. And again, I retract my statement, and the floor is back to Lobbing Scorchers.
Well, may they relentlessly come in droves all over for the Lumen Field leg 2. Caleb, thank you so much, my friend. Shout out. We couldn't do without you.
Appreciate you, Caleb. We'll catch you next time. And with that, we are going to call that a wrap for the post-game live of the Lobbing Scorchers, or the Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinals, leg 1. We will be back at it. Are we doing a podcast tomorrow? Man, we'll see. We'll put out a podcast at some point. We'll put out more shows at some point. Follow us on all socials. Like the video, sub to the channel, and also subscribe to QED Coffee, and also lobbingscorchers.com/USA. If you're feeling
lobbingscorchers.com/sauce. Also, we have a new little project with Hakes and Ferments coming up, so stay tuned.
A lot going on. All right.
And if you see me at Lumen Field, say hi. I love making friends.
And shout out to
our guests, Eternal Blue Forever Girls.
Rolls right off the tongue.
New podcast
coming soon.
Coming soon. And
You'll hear about us eventually.
We'll be back.
Okay, bye.